Critical Mass radio show and podcast. I am guest host Rick Girard, and this podcast is episode number 1111. If you'd like to learn more about the radio show and podcast and Richard's CEO peer groups, you can visit his company's website at criticalmass4business.com. It gives me great pleasure to welcome our guest today, who is Carolyn Stephens, the Associate Director for UCI Applied Innovation. UCI Applied Innovation brings campus-based discoveries together with OC's vibrant business community to support job creation and economic growth. Carolyn, the Associate Director of the Applied Innovation, joins us to discuss the Cove and the ecosystem supporting early-stage companies. Welcome to the show today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start with you sharing an interesting story from your professional path to today, Carolyn.
Well, that's always a great question. I actually, on my sidestep, as I was on my way over, and I was sort of laughing because my younger brother was a founding member of the band Train, and so I was coming over to do a radio show, and we try to divide jobs in the family. And so it was one of those. He's usually supposed to stick with the pop culture, and I'm supposed to stick with the technology innovation. So it's a role reversal. But my career has been kind of an interesting piece, and coming to this point, this is an opportunity to provide a combination of industry, startup, and academia all together. And so, anecdotally, I think today is one of the better pieces of it. And it's just having to put those two unique environments together and understand the different languages, the speed of business, and that combination. So it's a world we live in that's changing the innovation frontier.
Yeah, most definitely. So that must have been an interesting kind of yin and yang relationship that you and your brother have.
Absolutely.
So share with us, if you can, the mission of the UCI Applied Innovation.
Well, it's really a basic function of ensuring that the university is engaging with industry to collaboratively and unlock innovation to drive new industries in the region. It's an incredibly empowering mission, but if we do our job right, effectively, we have the opportunity to improve and save lives and as well as lead regional economic vitality. It's just an incredible place.
And I know that, how long is the innovation?
Applied Innovation?
Yeah.
We've been in existence since late summer of 2014, so almost 4 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sounds good. So can you share with us the mission of, what is the Innovation District? And how does this effort tie into building out the entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Orange County?
Sure. Innovation districts or ecosystems are great phrases to talk about what are the ingredients that you need to have a robust entrepreneurial innovative community. Sure. And there's everything that you need, from the entrepreneurs themselves to the universities producing both the technology and the human capital, as well as the infrastructure, office space, lab space, all the things you need. And then even some people often don't think, but the major corporations are critical as well, because they provide the domain expertise that's necessary to bring innovation out of a research function. Got it.
They also provide other resources like funding and that sort of thing as well?
At times, sure,
okay.
Absolutely. But
sure.
And so one of the things that we do is ensure that, as UCI is the only R1 research university in Orange County, what we really do is we provide oftentimes the key invention capital to make sure that the ecosystem is moving and is vibrant.
Got it. So how does that work?
In what way?
How does it work how does it work as an overall, like?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of the things that we do.
I guess that would be a better way of asking it, right?
I'll go with that one.
Yeah,
but some of the things that there are some transactional pieces.
Yeah.
One of them is the kind of basic technology transfer.
Okay.
So an invention that is made on the campus by a research lab. We actually deal with the patents and deal with the licensing of it. So a business or a company could come and say, "I'd like to have access to that," and we make sure that can happen.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things we do. We do things I was mentioning before, corporations or domain expertise. Oftentimes it's understanding the question of how to commercialize. It's understanding the unmet need, and so it's an engagement of an existing company that is dealing with the market need and is trying to look to say, how do you take a research project and turn that into convert that into a market solution.
Got it.
So we oftentimes facilitate a lot of that. So there's a third entity which is a lot about, well, you mentioned the Cove, which is a physical space, and oftentimes that's a function of trying to get the incidental collision, all the players that we just talked about, the 5 or 6 things you need. How do you get those individuals and organizations interacting on an ongoing basis, which is one of the things we do.
Got it. Okay. Well, I want to get to the Cove in a minute, when we come back.
Not to worry. There's plenty to say about the Cove.
I know. Actually, I've spent quite a bit of time over there. It's awesome. So we're going to take a quick break. We're talking to Carolyn Stephens, the Associate Director at UCI Applied Innovation. We'll be right back. Mass Radio Show. I'm your host, Rick Girard, subbing for Rick Franzi. All shows can be heard anytime on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker.com, and several hundred former guest websites whose CEOs have appeared on the show. Since 2009, the show has reached hundreds of thousands of listeners through our live stream, podcasts, and other platforms. To find the Critical Mass Radio Show, just simply type in Critical Mass Radio Show on your podcasting software to find their show. So I'd like to return to our interview with Carolyn Stephens, guest number 1423. Man, he's interviewed a lot of people.
Yeah, lucky 1423.
Yeah, I'd go buy a lotto ticket with that number. So before the break, we were talking a little bit about kind of how that works. So let's expand on that a little bit more.
Well, it's a great question because there are lots of ways that it does work. Some examples that you often find is let's say a student on campus might be working on a project and they want to go start a company.
Sure.
And so we would help them disclose or get the IP or the intellectual property that they're working on patented, and then help them license that, or help the firm license it, and work with them on developing that company, so they could incubate their company at our location.
Now, is it primarily only used for students?
No, that's a great question. We see a lot of students, faculty, alums. It's a very broad group that participates in this. Another type of example would be a company who is looking to do some new work, a new product line that they hadn't participated in before, and oftentimes they'll come and see if we have some technology that's sitting that we've patented before, and they'll go ahead and take that and then take it to market. Because what we do is the university is creating really amazing inventions, and we partner with businesses, small, medium, very, very large, global firms. Sometimes venture capitalists will come and look, and they find a piece of technology they really like and want to build a company around it. And so our job is to really help them do that. If they need advice, if they need capital, we don't necessarily provide all of it, but we connect it, and that's really what we do.
So you're kind of like, you do what I do, like, in a way, you connect people.
That would be something that we do, and hopefully a lot of.
I love it. All right, so you mentioned the Cove. So how does the Cove fit into the UCI Applied Innovation mission?
Well, it's a great place. The Cove was designed really to ensure that all those players we were just talking about can interact constantly. We have, and it's done in a lot of ways, but basically it's every business and great idea. There's usually an incidental collision that makes it just work, and it's a combination of people at just the right time. And so effectively, the Cove facilitates that. We facilitate it by having events. We have 700 events, about 45,000 people a year through the facility. A lot of venture capital and angel groups do their screenings. So when companies are looking to get funding, they come to the Cove and actually present their material there. We have an incubation activity.
And you have great events there, by the way. I've been to quite a few of them.
We do.
They're outstanding.
Thank you very much. We have incubation. We have 40 companies at any particular time incubating there. So that would be where they're getting their getting their feet wet and getting their strength going. So it's this the Cove is this place for incidental collision that makes all the difference.
Okay, I think you just answered. You said you have how many companies that kind of work on
At any particular time, about 40, 45 that are actually working there.
And they're developing ideas and trying to build out a business model.
They are. We
cool.
also have an extensive network of firms. So we have people who have possibly licensed the University of Technologies, who are building their businesses. They've grown up and are building their businesses either locally in the region or otherwise. So we're well tied to innovation and entrepreneurship.
Got it. That's fascinating. Now, Tech Connect World 2018 was held last week in Anaheim. What did UCI feature at this conference?
Sure. Tech Connect World is it's a annual event. It's oftentimes in the East Coast, and this year was here. We focused on a number of things, but maybe just to highlight a couple. One of them would be Shane Ardo, a faculty member, professor in chemistry, and he's developed a novel method of desalination for brackish water. It's using a portable device that's run on solar, and it's effectively works 2.5 times faster than anything that's available.
Wow!
So it's kind of a fun thing.
That could be game changer.
It is a game changer. Reginald Penner was Dr. Penner was at an event. He is at the event, and he's a electrochemist, and his group is looking at a number of things, everything from energy storage, solar energy storage, which actually is a key challenge, and he's got a couple of fundamental changes, to biosensors that allow for early cancer detection. So kind of exciting areas.
Yeah.
Mohammed Al-Farouk, his areas, he's looking at cybersecurity relative to the Internet of Things and things like autonomous vehicles, and it's kind of an interesting place.
Which those problems that we're running into are going to be massive in the next couple of years, I think.
They are, and that's really like when you asked earlier what we do is we have lots of people, lots of labs working on this kind of material, and our job is to ensure that it makes it to the market and changes and it benefits the lives of Californians and others.
You're doing good work. I love it. So where are you taking the UCI Applied Innovation?
It's another great question. We're looking at effectively it's an increase of capacity and capability and matching it, making sure that between our industry partners and the business community at large is driving Orange County to its increasing recognition as a global or national and global leader in innovation, scalable innovation.
Okay. Any future growth plans?
Yes, we started. I think we kind of laugh that our executive director started with a laptop in a closet, and our first about 4 years ago was about 1,500 feet, and we now have 45,000. We're heading into a new facility, also in the UCI Research Park.
Okay.
But we continue to grow because the output of what's coming off the campus and what the community is building is incredible. Nice.
Can you share your core philosophy that you use to lead and grow your organization?
Small question.
Small question with a big answer.
Exactly. Well, I think I used a term collaborate earlier, at least once or twice.
Sure.
And I think effectively our job, and I think it's a compelling place for me personally, is we get to collaboratively engage deeply and broadly to get all the brain cells working on the hard problems.
Sure.
And that when you see that kind of interest and collaborative work, you yield really innovative results.
It's got to be somewhat infectious too, I'd imagine.
It is. Yeah. It is. I mean, we live. Clearly, we have to balance evolutionary and revolutionary change. Yeah. But we spend a whole lot of time in the revolutionary area and try to look at how to bring that into at a pace and in chunks that industry and startups and the community can deal with.
Gotcha. Is there like an overall philosophy that the Innovation Center has?
Well, clearly one of the challenges. Yes, we move at the speed of business.
Okay.
Don't plan too much. Plan appropriately.
Yeah.
Try. Let's see. Another area would be, I think probably you don't lead by copying. So the objective is to look and see what is needed at a particular time. We build what we need at that time. We look for, we work in a very large institution, but what's phenomenal is the institution is at an opportunity of a generation. We're at a time that the campus is growing incredibly. 15 years ago, half the campus wasn't there. We're growing.
Yeah, I see a ton of construction.
A lot of construction, but largely it's the capacity of researchers who are coming to campus, students who are coming to campus. We are an incredibly diverse arena, and so looking at the opportunity to get that to really engage is incredible.
So how does somebody get in touch with you and learn more about UCI Innovation? Applied Innovation.
The first place I would go is innovation.uci.edu.
.edu. Okay. And I can find out more, everything there.
You'll find everything about events that we service. We've heard a lot. We reference the campus quite a bit, but we are. And your question earlier was great. We are very public facing. More than half of our events are general public activities. So there's a good event roster that would be sitting there. If you're interested in technology itself and just a list of what's available, you can search by keyword. I'm interested in this type of technology. Do we have something available? It's sitting right there.
Yeah, and the events calendar, because I look at it probably every other week to see what I'm going to go to. You guys have events probably 2 or 3 a week, right?
A day.
A day. Okay. I need to look more. Carolyn, thanks so much for being a friend of the show and a member of the critical mass business community. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I'd like to thank our engineer for today's show is Paul Roberts, our producers, Joan Park, Crystal Nunley, and Haley Stern, without whom this show could not happen. I would ask that you connect with Rick Franzi on LinkedIn. You can connect up with me too, but this is really Rick's show. His latest book, Killing Cats Leads to Rats, Mitigating the Unintended Consequences of Business Decisions, is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other booksellers. Until the next show, I hope that all your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.
You have been